There is a silent current moving through your life, unseen yet undeniably real. Everything around you, every circumstance, every person, every challenge is quietly shifting in your favor. You may not see it yet, but the tide is turning and it is moving toward your victory. The first truth to understand is that your reality begins in your imagination. Whatever you hold in your mind with conviction and feeling begins to shape the world around you. When you assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, your life bends to reflect that inner certainty. Do not underestimate the power of your mind. It is not merely a tool, it is the forge of your reality. Even when the external world seems stagnant, know this: the invisible shift is already happening. Forces beyond your perception are arranging events and people to bring about what you desire. The universe does not work with hesitation. It moves quietly, methodically, always toward the realization of what your heart has imagined. Trust the process, even when you cannot yet see it. But belief alone is not enough. You must persist in the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not let doubts creep in. Do not allow impatience to cloud your vision. Every moment you maintain the inner certainty, you are creating an irresistible momentum that life must reflect. Persistence is the key. The world cannot deny the conviction of a determined heart. Release all resistance. The moment you let go of fear, worry, and frustration, the flow of life moves unhindered toward you. Struggle is unnecessary. It only delays what is already destined for you. Surrender to the natural unfolding and allow miracles to happen with ease. Imagination is your creative power. Live in the end of your desire. See it, feel it, embrace it, as though it is already yours. By immersing yourself in this inner reality, you invite the physical world to follow. Every reality begins as a mental picture. Every success begins as an imagined certainty. Trust the timing of life. What seems delayed is not denial, it is preparation. Everything is being orchestrated with perfect precision to bring your desires in the most favorable way. There is divine timing at work, and it always works in your favor. So, hold fast. Do not give up. Every unseen shift, every hidden movement, every quiet alignment is leading you toward your breakthrough. Everything is shifting in your favor. Trust it, believe it, feel it, and watch the impossible become inevitable. Your reality begins not in the world around you, but in the silent creative depths of your imagination. Everything you see, experience, and encounter in your life is a reflection of the beliefs you hold within. The moment you realize that your outer world is a mirror of your inner state, you step into a place of power. For the world does not create you. You create the world by the assumptions you persist in. This is the secret that many overlook. Life does not respond to your complaints, your fears, or even your wishes without feeling. It responds to the living, vibrant conviction that you hold in your mind and heart. When you assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, when you live as though what you seek has already been accomplished, life itself begins to rearrange. People, circumstances, and opportunities align in ways that seem miraculous, yet they are the natural consequence of your inner state. It is not enough to merely hope or wish for change. Hope is weak, fleeting, and uncertain, and the outer world senses this uncertainty. Your imagination, however, is powerful and tangible. By imagining vividly, by entering the state where your desire is already realized, you send a signal to the universe that your fulfillment is inevitable. It is not a distant possibility, it is a present reality, experienced first in the inner world before manifesting in the physical. When you carry this assumption consistently, it impresses itself upon your consciousness so deeply that your actions, decisions, and reactions begin to align with that reality. You start to notice opportunities that were invisible before. You begin to meet people who serve as instruments of your vision. Life unfolds in a way that confirms your inner assumption. Your imagination is the divine tool through which you mold your reality. To exercise this power, you must enter the end state of your desire. Feel it in your body, in your heart, and in your mind. See yourself living the life you want, not someday, but now. Sense the emotions of fulfillment, gratitude, and joy as if they are already yours. This feeling is the signal that transforms mere thought into creation. The universe moves to match the frequency of your inner state. Resistance, doubt, and negativity will try to interrupt this process, but persistence and faith are your allies. The more you dwell in the assumption of your fulfilled desire, the stronger and more undeniable the impression becomes. Understand that the outer world is never separate from you. Every event, every encounter, every circumstance is a reflection of what you carry inside. If your imagination is strong, clear, and unwavering, the world will reflect that strength back to you. If your inner state is uncertain or fearful, life will mirror that uncertainty. This is the essence of creation. You do not chase reality, you embody it. By assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you take the first step in reshaping everything around you. Life reorganizes itself in response, and what once seemed impossible becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Even when everything around you appears still, when life seems to stall and circumstances seem unmoving, an invisible current is flowing beneath the surface, quietly rearranging reality in your favor. Most people judge the world by what they see with their eyes, forgetting that the visible world is always preceded by the invisible. What appears as delay or stagnation is not failure. It is the hidden preparation for your desire to manifest. The universe is always working, always moving, always aligning events, opportunities, and people, even when you cannot yet perceive it. This unseen shift is subtle, delicate, and profound, and it is entirely in your favor. The moment you understand that the physical world is a reflection of the invisible, you will no longer be shaken by what seems like inaction. The unseen forces are already at work. They move in perfect harmony with your inner assumption, rearranging circumstances in ways that often appear miraculous. These forces do not operate randomly. They respond to the frequency of your consciousness. Every belief, every feeling, every thought you hold is a vibration that communicates to the universe what reality you wish to inhabit. When you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, unseen arrangements begin to take shape. Doors open before you, connections are made, and opportunities present themselves naturally. You may not see the mechanism, and you may not feel the shift immediately, but it is happening. Trust in the quiet, because what is invisible is always more powerful than what is visible. It is essential to understand that the shift always precedes the manifestation. Life does not simply hand you your desires in a moment of need. It first aligns the circumstances, the people, and the events to make that desire inevitable. Just as a seed must first develop roots beneath the soil before it sprouts into the sunlight, your dream must first take form in the invisible realm before it appears in the world of matter. To panic, to doubt, or to rush the process is to resist the very natural order that is working for you. Patience is not passivity, it is trust in the creative law that governs reality. The more you can internalize this truth, the less power the outer world has to disturb your inner peace. Circumstances are never final, they are temporary indicators that the unseen is still aligning. Even when setbacks appear, they are often part of a larger orchestration, positioning you for the most favorable outcome. You are not witnessing delay, you are witnessing preparation. Your task is not to force results, but to remain steadfast in the inner vision, to continue assuming the state of fulfillment, and to carry the feeling of the end as your present reality. Know that this invisible shift is relentless, precise, and inevitable. Your desire is already on its way to you. The universe is not late. It is perfectly timed. The unseen forces are constantly at work, molding the circumstances so that when the manifestation appears, it does so effortlessly and completely. Your only requirement is to trust, to persist, and to hold unwavering faith in the unseen process. What is invisible now will soon be visible, and everything that is shifting in your favor will emerge as proof of the power of belief, patience, and alignment with the creative law. The power of your desire is not measured by how loudly you declare it or by the force with which you wish for it. It is measured by the persistence of the feeling you carry within. It is easy to become distracted by appearances, by circumstances that seem to contradict your dreams, or by voices, both external and internal, that whisper doubt. Yet true manifestation does not depend on the external world. It depends entirely on your inner state. The moment you persist in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, living as though it is already yours, you set into motion an inevitability that the outer world cannot resist. This is the secret that transforms dreams into reality. The continuity of feeling, the unwavering assumption that your desire exists now. To persist in feeling means to occupy your inner world with the end result, without hesitation, without interruption, and without compromise. Do not allow fleeting doubts or momentary disappointments to break the continuity of your assumption. Life will constantly challenge you. It will present obstacles, delays, and contradictions. These are not signs that your desire is failing. They are tests of your persistence. Every time you return to the feeling of your fulfilled desire, every time you re-enter the state of its already having been accomplished, you reinforce the vibration that must eventually be reflected in your external world. Continuity is the bridge between imagination and reality, between thought and matter. And matter, the outer world cannot reflect what your inner state does not first hold. People, circumstances, and events are drawn to the frequency you maintain. When your inner state is consistent, when your feeling of fulfillment is steady and unwavering, life aligns to mirror it. The more you persist in feeling, the more inevitable your manifestation becomes. Even when the world appears contrary, persistence creates a gravitational pull that cannot be denied. What seems like opposition is merely the outer world waiting to catch up with the state of consciousness you have assumed. Persistence is also an act of faith. It is faith not in what you see, but in what you imagine. It is the belief that what you have assumed as true in your inner world will inevitably appear in your outer world. This faith is not passive, it is active, vibrant, and alive. Every thought, every feeling, every moment spent in the inner reality of fulfillment strengthens the invisible threads that bind your desire to its manifestation. Impatience, worry, or distraction weakens these threads, while steadfast feeling reinforces them until the external world must conform. Understand that persistence is not measured in days or months, it is measured in consistency of state. It is the unbroken commitment to live in the end, to feel the reality of your desire now, to ignore appearances, and to hold unwavering conviction. When you persist, life cannot help but yield. The outer world has no choice but to reflect the state you have assumed. Your desire moves from imagination to inevitability, from thought to experience, from invisible assumption to visible manifestation. Continuity of feeling is the law through which the impossible becomes inevitable, and the dreams you hold most dear become your living reality. Resistance is the invisible barrier that prevents your desires from manifesting. It is the tension created by doubt, fear, and impatience, the inner struggle against the natural flow of life. When you wrestle with circumstances, when you fight against what seems to be, you only strengthen the very obstacle you wish to overcome. The universe responds not to struggle, but to the state of mind you maintain. Every moment you resist, every thought of worry or fear acts like a block, slowing the movement of your desire from imagination into reality. It is not the world that delays your fulfillment. It is your resistance that interrupts the seamless flow of life that is already working in your favor. To release resistance is to surrender, to trust, and to allow the natural unfolding of events to carry you toward your desire. Surrender does not mean inaction or passivity, it means alignment. It means maintaining your inner assumption of the fulfilled desire while letting go of struggle. When you no longer oppose the present moment, when you cease to fret over how or when your desire will manifest, you create space for the invisible currents of life to bring your vision into form. This is the paradox of creation. By releasing struggle, you gain control. By surrendering, you command the manifestation of your desire. Fear is one of the most common forms of resistance. It whispers that what you want is impossible, that you are not worthy, or that circumstances are against you. Doubt, likewise, undermines your inner conviction, tempting you to look to the outer world for proof. Impatience rushes you to act before the invisible forces are fully aligned. All of these are signs that you are operating from a place of resistance rather than trust. The solution is simple but profound. Return continually to the inner state of peace, assurance, and certainty. Let the feeling of your desire fulfilled dominate your consciousness. Live as if the end has already come, and allow life to orchestrate the details. Understand that the universe is always working, always arranging, always moving to fulfill your desire. The unseen is precise and the natural order is perfect. When you resist, you clash with this order. When you surrender, you align with it. This alignment is effortless. It requires no struggle, no frantic effort, no desperate attempts to control outcomes. All that is required is faith, patience, and the willingness to allow life to bring your desire in its own perfect way. Every delay, every obstacle, every unexpected turn is simply life preparing the optimal conditions for your fulfillment. Only a state of unconditional fulfillment. By releasing resistance, you move from tension to flow, from fear to faith, from struggle to effortless creation. You free yourself to inhabit the reality you have imagined. You understand that the outer world cannot resist the conviction of your inner state. As you surrender, the doors that seemed closed begin to open. The pathways that seemed blocked clear, and the invisible forces align with precision, bringing your desire into manifestation. Everything is already shifting in your favor, and resistance is the only thing that could prevent you from seeing it. Let go, trust the process, and know that life is unfolding exactly as it should, carrying you to the reality your heart has imagined. Every new reality begins in the mind. The world you see around you is not the starting point. It is the reflection of what has already been conceived in consciousness. Imagination is not a mere tool for idle dreaming. It is the creative force, the divine instrument through which life itself is shaped. Whatever you wish to experience, whatever success, joy, or fulfillment you desire, first exists as a mental picture within you. Before a tree grows, before a building is constructed, before any achievement is realized, it begins as a vision, a clear inner representation that precedes all physical manifestation. To ignore the power of imagination is to ignore the very mechanism through which life responds to consciousness. To wield this creative force effectively, you must live in the end. This means inhabiting the state of your desire fulfilled, imagining the result with vivid detail, and most importantly, with deep emotion. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the relief, the excitement, the gratitude of having what you seek. Emotions are the bridge between imagination and reality. They give life to the mental picture and impress it upon the fabric of existence. The universe does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It responds to the feeling and conviction behind the inner picture. The more real it feels to you, the sooner it becomes inevitable in the physical world. Living in the end is not simply visualizing the outcome, it is embodying it. See yourself walking through the day as if your desire has already been fulfilled. Hear the sounds, notice the surroundings, feel the sensations of your new reality. The mind and body must align with the imagined state. This alignment signals to life that your fulfillment is not hypothetical but actual. The more consistently you enter this state, the more the outer world is compelled to mirror it. You are as the sea is calm and mostly clear. You are as the sea is calm and mostly clear. Opportunities, people, and circumstances begin to appear in perfect harmony with the inner reality you hold. What once seemed distant or impossible now becomes natural and inevitable. The creative force of imagination is also timeless. Past failures, current circumstances, or apparent impossibilities have no power over it. When you imagine with conviction, the mental picture exists beyond the constraints of time, calling the future into existence before it appears physically. This is the essence of manifestation. The future is already here in consciousness, and your imagination simply allows it to take form in the material world. By repeatedly dwelling in the end, by reinforcing the mental picture with faith and feeling, you set in motion an invisible current that life must honor. Do not underestimate the simplicity and power of this process. The secret of all creation is imagination. Whatever you vividly assume and persist in feeling as real life is compelled to bring into existence. Every great achievement, every success story, every transformation in history began with this invisible act of mental creation. By embracing your imagination as the creative force, by living in the end, and by infusing your vision with deep emotion, you become the architect of your own reality. The life you desire is not waiting for permission, it is waiting for your inner assumption to claim it as already yours. Faith in divine timing is the understanding that the universe operates with perfect precision. Even when life appears to move slowly or obstacles seem to delay your desires. What seems like a pause, a setback, or a disappointment is never truly a denial of your wish. It is the meticulous preparation of circumstances, people, and opportunities to ensure that your manifestation arrives in the most favorable way. Life is orchestrated with an intelligence far beyond what the conscious mind can perceive. Every moment, every event, and every interaction is part of a grand design, aligning invisibly to bring your desire to fruition. To have faith in divine timing is to trust that nothing is wasted, nothing is random, and nothing is absent from the unfolding of your life. Delays are often misunderstood as failure, but they are in reality the proof of the universe's perfect planning. If you push too hard, act prematurely, or try to force results, you may disrupt the natural order that is working in your favor. The outer world cannot create what the inner world has not yet fully prepared. And the timing of life ensures that everything falls into place with maximum impact. Faith in divine timing is the recognition that what you desire is already yours in the unseen realm, and that the universe is simply aligning the perfect circumstances to bring it into your physical experience. Patience, therefore, is not passive waiting. It is active trust in the creative law that governs reality. To cultivate this faith, you must let go of anxiety and impatience. Doubts arise when you focus on appearances rather than the invisible truth that your desire exists in the inner world and that the external world will inevitably reflect it. Every moment that seems empty or delayed is a moment in which unseen forces are meticulously arranging everything for your good. This faith transforms waiting from a period of frustration into a period of empowerment. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are in harmony with the intelligent flow of life. You understand that every delay, every twist, every unexpected turn is perfectly timed to maximize the impact of your fulfillment. Now, if that Mishka Stampa Saki, you are ready. Now, if that Mishka stands over you, cast a stone. Faith in divine timing also teaches you to remain steadfast in your inner state, regardless of external appearances. Life cannot contradict what has already been assumed in consciousness. Your inner certainty, your assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, is the signal that guides the unseen forces of the universe. The outer world may lag, but it is only catching up with the state you have already established within. The more unwavering your faith, the swifter and smoother the manifestation. This is why patience and persistence are inseparable from the principle of divine timing. Understanding divine timing allows you to move through life with confidence, grace, and peace. You no longer rush, struggle, or despair, because you know that every moment is working for you, arranging the circumstances in the exact way necessary to bring your desire to life. When you trust this timing, you align yourself with the invisible current of creation. You recognize that your desire is already fulfilled in the unseen. and all that remains is for the outer world to reflect it. Faith in divine timing transforms waiting into assurance, doubt into trust, and desire into inevitable reality, ensuring that everything unfolds perfectly in your favor. As we reflect on the truths we have explored today, remember this: everything is already shifting in your favor. Your inner belief shapes the world around you. The unseen forces are quietly rearranging circumstances, and persistence in feeling ensures that what you desire becomes inevitable. By releasing resistance, trusting the process, living in the end through your imagination, and having faith in divine timing, you align yourself with the effortless flow of life. The universe is conspiring on your behalf, orchestrating every detail to bring your dreams into manifestation. Your role is not to struggle or doubt, but to assume, to feel, and to trust, knowing that the reality you envision is already yours. So, do not give up. Stand firm in your vision, persist in your belief, and embrace the invisible currents working tirelessly for your good. Every moment, every event, every encounter is a step closer to the life you have imagined. The shift is happening, the alignment is taking place, and your fulfillment is inevitable. Thank you for opening your heart and mind today, for allowing these words to inspire belief and courage within you. May you move forward with unwavering faith, persistent feeling, and the certainty that life is working for you in ways beyond your imagination. Thank you. You have been conditioned to believe that effort, struggle, and worry are the only paths to success. But what if I told you that the very act of striving is what keeps you from receiving? You were never meant to beg for what is already yours. The moment you desire something, it is done. It is already created in the unseen. Your only task is to align with it, to assume the feeling of already having it, and to trust the process. Look at nature. The sun does not struggle to rise. The river does not force itself to flow. The tree does not worry if it will bear fruit. They simply exist in harmony with the unseen intelligence that governs all things. You are no different. So why do you fight? Why do you doubt? Do you not see that the very act of worrying is an affirmation that you do not believe? And if you do not believe, how can it come to pass? Relax. Let go of the need to control every step. The moment you release resistance, the unseen forces move on your behalf. The universe is not working against you. It is responding to you. If you assume lack, lack is what you will see. If you assume struggle, struggle is what will persist. But if you assume that it is already done, that all is well, the world will shift to confirm your assumption. Do not ask how, do not ask when. That is not your concern. The seed does not question how it will become a tree. It simply trusts the unseen forces of nature. Be still, feel it as done, and watch as the universe works for you. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a reflection of the assumptions you hold in the depths of your being. Everything you see, every event that unfolds, and every encounter you have is shaped by the inner world of your imagination. You may believe that circumstances happen to you, that life is an external force moving beyond your control, but this is an illusion. In truth, everything originates within. Consider for a moment that every belief you hold, every assumption you entertain with conviction, is the seed of a future reality. What you accept as true in your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, takes root and eventually expresses itself in the world. You do not need to force it, nor do you need to concern yourself with how it will come to pass. The process is automatic, as natural as the rising of the sun or the growth of a flower from a seed. If you wish to understand why your life unfolds the way it does, Look no further than your dominant thoughts and assumptions. Are you constantly dwelling in the idea of lack, failure, and struggle? If so, your external world will reflect these states back to you with unwavering accuracy. But if you choose to assume abundance, success, and ease, life must conform to these ideas just as faithfully. The world is a mirror, and it cannot reflect anything but the image you hold within. The power of imagination is not mere fantasy. It is the creative force of reality itself. Every great invention, every piece of art, every achievement first existed in the mind before it became visible. The same principle applies to your own life. What you persistently imagine, with feeling and conviction, must take shape in your experience. Doubt, fear, and worry are the great disruptors of this process. When you question whether your desires will manifest, when you look to the external world for proof instead of trusting your inner vision, you delay the very thing you seek. It is not enough to wish or hope. You must know, you must assume, with unwavering faith, that what you desire is already yours. Think of a dream you once had, something you longed for that eventually became a reality. At some point, you either consciously or unconsciously assumed it was possible, even inevitable. You may not have realized it then, but you had aligned yourself with that outcome, and life arranged itself to fulfill it. Now, imagine applying that same principle deliberately. If you want a new reality, you must first construct it in your imagination, not as something distant or unattainable, but as something already present. See yourself as the person you wish to become. Feel the emotions of already having what you seek. Walk in the certainty that it is done, even when physical evidence has not yet appeared. The moment you accept it as truth within, the process of manifestation begins. There is no force outside of you that determines your fate. No external power holds authority over your life. You are the creator, whether you realize it or not. And the world you move through is nothing more than a reflection of your deepest convictions. If you wish to change your reality, change what you assume to be true. Release the need to control the details. Do not concern yourself with how things will unfold. The mechanism of creation is not yours to manage, it is yours to trust. Simply hold firm to the assumption of your desired reality, persist in the feeling of already having it, and allow the unseen forces to work on your behalf. It may seem too simple, but this is the great secret of life. Those who understand it move through the world with ease, knowing that everything they seek is already within them. Those who doubt remain trapped in a cycle of struggle, believing themselves at the mercy of circumstances. Choose then to assume the best. Let your imagination create the reality you truly desire. For what you believe with conviction, what you persist in imagining will harden into fact. It is law, and it cannot fail. Desperation is the great repellent of all that you seek. It signals lack, fear, and disbelief, and in doing so it pushes away the very things you desire. When you chase after something, whether it be love, success, wealth, or recognition, you are unknowingly affirming that you do not have it. Your pursuit is not one of confidence, but of scarcity, and scarcity only breeds more of itself. The more you reach outward, the further your desires seem to move away, like a shadow that lengthens when chased, but disappears when ignored. When you desire something deeply, it is natural to want to take action, to force the result into being. But this is where most falter. They mistake force for power and effort for creation. The truth is, desperation is an act of disbelief. It is the unspoken statement that what you want is separate from you, that it exists somewhere beyond your reach, and that you must struggle to obtain it. This very mindset ensures that your desire remains just out of grasp, because the external world is only reflecting your internal state. If you believe you are lacking, then lack is what you will continue to experience. Faith, on the other hand, is the great attractor. To trust completely is to know that what you seek is already yours. that it is not something to be gained, but something to be revealed. When you have faith, you no longer feel the need to chase, because you understand that there is nothing to chase. You operate from a place of certainty, and in that certainty, your desire is free to flow toward you effortlessly. Consider the nature of a magnet. It does not run after metal, nor does it plead for it to come near. It simply exists in a state of alignment, and by doing so, it effortlessly draws what belongs to it. You must become the same. When you embody the state of already having, already being, already knowing, all that you desire comes toward you with ease. There is no struggle, no force, only alignment. Those who succeed in life are not the ones who grasp and cling, but the ones who trust. They move with an air of calm assurance, as if they already possess the thing they desire, and in time the world rearranges itself to make that assumption true. They do not check and recheck for signs, nor do they allow doubt to take root. They understand that just as a planted seed does not need to be dug up daily to see if it is growing, their desire does not need constant worry to manifest. Imagine for a moment that what you want most is already done. How would you feel? How would you move through life? Would you be anxious or would you be at peace? Would you seek reassurance or would you rest in the knowing? The answer is clear. When you believe something is truly yours, you do not stress over it. You do not question when it will arrive or how it will come. You simply expect it. And in that expectation, it must appear. This is the difference between those who struggle and those who receive effortlessly. It is not luck, nor is it external privilege. It is a state of mind. The ones who trust are the ones who receive, for their trust signals to the universe that they are already in possession of their desire. The ones who doubt and chase push their desire away, affirming with every moment of worry that it is still absent. To shift from desperation to faith is to shift from struggle to ease, from delay to fulfillment. The moment you let go of the need to control, the moment you surrender the worry and trust completely, everything you desire begins to move toward you. It has no choice. The law is certain and it does not fail. So release the chase. Let go of the grasping. Move as if it is already done and watch as life bends to meet your assumption. For faith is the key that unlocks all doors, while desperation only keeps them closed. To live in the end is to assume without doubt that what you desire is already yours. It is to move through life with the inner knowing that what you have imagined has already been accomplished, even before any external evidence appears. This is the great secret to creation, the realization that reality is not shaped by circumstances, but by your assumptions about them. When you embody the state of already having, the world has no choice but to reflect that reality back to you. Most people live in a state of waiting. They wait for signs, for proof, for permission from the external world, before they allow themselves to believe. They tell themselves, when I have the money, then I will feel abundant. When I find love, then I will feel complete. When I succeed, then I will feel confident. But they have it backward. The outer world is only a mirror reflecting the inner state. If you wait for external proof before changing within, you will wait forever. Instead, you must first be what you wish to see, and only then will reality conform. Imagine an actor preparing for a role. He does not wait until he is on stage to embody the character. He becomes the character long before the audience sees him. He walks, speaks, and thinks as the character until there is no distinction between the two. You must do the same. Assume the state of already being the person you wish to become. If wealth is what you seek, embody the feeling of wealth now, even if your bank account says otherwise. If love is your desire, assume the feeling of already being loved without waiting for another person to provide it. The feeling itself is the secret, the cause of all external changes. Living in the end does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing not to be bound by it. The world you see today is simply a reflection of your past assumptions, but it has no power over what comes next. If you continue to react to what already exists, you only perpetuate it. But if you shift your inner state, if you assume and persist in the feeling of already having, you set a new cause in motion, and in time the effect must follow. Doubt is the greatest enemy of this process. The mind wants to analyze, to question, to search for evidence. But faith does not require proof. It creates proof. The moment you say, "I will believe it when I see it," you have already defeated yourself. Instead, say, "I believe it now, and I will see it because of that belief." Hold firm to the assumption even when nothing seems to change. Reality takes time to rearrange itself. Just as a planted seed takes time to sprout. You do not dig up a seed daily to check if it is growing. You trust that it will. The same is true for your desires. The world has no power over you unless you give it power. If you look to external circumstances for validation, you surrender your ability to create. But when you choose to live in the end, to fully embody the feeling of already having, your world must shift to align with that state. You are not a victim of life, you are its architect. And the blueprint is written in the assumptions you hold. It is not a matter of if your desire will manifest. It is a matter of whether you will persist in the feeling of already having it. The only thing that can delay it is your own doubt, your own decision to believe in what is rather than what can be. But if you persist, if you refuse to waver, if you walk each day as if your wish were already fulfilled, then fulfillment is inevitable. Choose now to step into the reality you desire. Assume it, feel it, live in it. Do not wait for the world to confirm it. You must confirm it within yourself first. And when you do, the world will follow, for it has no choice but to reflect what you've already accepted as true. Time is nothing more than a construct of the mind. It appears to move forward in a linear fashion, but in truth, all possibilities already exist. What you desire is not something you must earn, chase, or wait for. It is already yours. The only thing that separates you from it is your assumption that it lies somewhere in the future, rather than in your present reality. The moment you accept it as done, time bends to bring it into your experience. Most people believe that manifestation takes time, that there is a long road between wanting something and receiving it. But this belief itself is the barrier. When you assume that your desire is distant, you unknowingly place it out of reach. You reinforce the illusion of separation, and so the world continues to reflect that gap. You must understand that the delay is not real. It is a result of your own assumption. The moment you shift your perception, the timeline collapses, and what you seek moves toward you. Think of a radio. The frequencies of all stations exist simultaneously, but you can only experience the one to which you are tuned. If you want to hear a different station, you do not need to create it. It already exists. You simply shift the dial. The same is true for your desires. You do not need to force them into being. They already exist in the infinite possibilities of creation. The only thing required is for you to align with the frequency of already having them. This alignment is not an act of effort. It is an act of knowing. You must train yourself to feel, think, and act as if your desire has already materialized. The world will resist at first, appearing unchanged, but this is only an echo of past assumptions. Do not let it deceive you. Hold to your new reality, and in time, the external world will conform. Many people give up because they expect instant gratification. They look for immediate proof, and when they do not see it, they revert to doubt. But this is like planting a seed and digging it up each day to check if it is growing. The process is invisible at first, but that does not mean it is not happening. The moment you accept something is done, it is done. Time simply rearranges itself to make it visible. Consider those moments in life when things seem to happen instantly. Perhaps you thought of a person and they called you within minutes. Perhaps you desperately searched for a solution to a problem, only to find that the answer appeared effortlessly when you stopped worrying. These moments are not coincidences. They are glimpses of the truth. Time does not dictate when things happen. Your assumption does. If you believe that you must wait years for success, then years will pass before it arrives. If you believe that love takes time to find, then time will stretch out before you. But if you accept in this very moment that what you seek is already yours, then time has no choice but to adjust. It will move in the most direct way possible to reflect your new assumption. So let go of waiting. Stop imagining your desire as something that will happen someday. Live in the awareness that it has already happened. If you had your desire right now, how would you feel? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would fill your mind? Embody that state completely, and reality will have no choice but to make it visible. The truth is simple. Time is an illusion. It is not something you must fight against. It is something that bends to your assumption. The moment you claim your desire is already fulfilled, you step out of the illusion of waiting and into the reality of having. And once you do that, the world must follow. Silence holds a power that few understand. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and constant external validation, silence is a rare and often overlooked force. Yet it is within silence that true creation happens. The unseen forces of the universe do not announce their movements, nor do they seek approval. They work quietly, reshaping reality in response to your inner state. When you learn to detach from external noise, when you stop seeking validation, and when you dwell in the stillness of knowing, you tap into an immeasurable power, the power to shape your world from within. Most people are consumed by the need to speak, explain, and prove themselves to others. They believe that their desires must be justified, that their dreams must be shared, and that their progress must be seen. But this endless engagement with the external world drains energy and weakens their creative ability. When you constantly talk about what you want, when you look to others for approval, you are giving away your power. You are placing your creation in the hands of the outside world, instead of keeping it protected in the sacred space of your mind. True power is silent. It does not need to be announced. It simply is. The most profound transformations happen in silence. Consider a seed buried in the soil. It does not make a sound as it breaks open and begins to grow. The roots extend, the stem pushes upward, and eventually it emerges into the light, all without noise. The same is true of your manifestations. The moment you plant the seed of a desire in your imagination, the universe begins working. But if you keep digging it up, if you keep exposing it to outside voices and doubt, you interfere with the process. Teaching from external noise does not mean isolation. It means discernment. It means understanding that the opinions of others hold no power over you unless you allow them to. It means recognizing that your reality is not shaped by what the world says, but by what you accept as true within yourself. There is a reason why the most powerful figures in history often moved in silence. They did not waste energy explaining themselves or seeking permission. They knew that real change happens within first, and only afterward does the world reflect it. Many people struggle with silence because they fear it. They believe that if they are not constantly doing something, talking about their goals, or seeking confirmation, nothing is happening. But this is an illusion. Silence is not inactivity, it is alignment. When you detach from external noise, you give space for the unseen forces to work. You allow things to unfold without resistance. You let the energy of your desire take form without interruption. The key to mastering silence is trust. You must trust that once you have imagined your desire as real, the process has already begun. There is no need to talk about it. There is no need to convince others. There is only the need to know, and knowing requires no words. It requires no validation. It is simply a quiet, unshakable certainty that what you have assumed will become visible in due time. Stillness is the space where creation happens. It is the moment before dawn when the world is quietest. It is the deep ocean beneath the waves, unaffected by the storms above. It is the space between thoughts where inspiration arises. When you dwell in stillness, you become a conduit for divine intelligence, a vessel through which the universe manifests its will. So step away from the noise. Stop explaining. Stop announcing your every move. Stop looking for validation in the external world. Instead, retreat into the silence of your knowing. Let your actions, your energy, and your unwavering belief do the speaking for you. In time, the world will take notice, not because you sought its attention, but because your inner power became undeniable. And when that happens, it will not be because you shouted your dreams into existence. It will be because you cultivated them in silence. There is a natural order to all things, a rhythm that governs the unfolding of life. The same intelligence that causes the sun to rise, the tides to move, and the seasons to change is at work in your life, orchestrating events with perfect precision. Your desires, once imagined and felt as real, are like seeds planted in fertile soil. They do not need your constant interference to grow. They do not need to be pushed, forced, or doubted into existence. Instead, they require trust, patience, and most importantly, the ability to let go and allow them to manifest in their own perfect time. Many struggle with this simple truth. They believe that the more effort they exert, the faster their desires will materialize. They watch anxiously for signs, constantly question the process, and attempt to control every detail of how things unfold. But just as a seed does not need to be dug up each day to check its progress, your manifestations do not need constant monitoring. In fact, the more you try to control the outcome, the more resistance you create. The energy of doubt, impatience, and desperation only serves to block what is already set in motion. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean abandoning your desire or ceasing to care about it. Rather, it means releasing attachment to the how and when of its manifestation. It means trusting that once the intention is set, the unseen forces of the universe begin arranging all necessary conditions for its fulfillment. Your only role is to remain in a state of quiet confidence, knowing that what you have asked for is on its way. Consider the way nature operates. A tree does not struggle to grow, it simply expands effortlessly toward the light. The rivers do not force their flow, they move naturally, carving their path in perfect harmony with the land. The flowers do not demand to bloom, they open when the conditions are right. In the same way, your desires will manifest effortlessly when you surrender to the natural order of things, when you release them into the hands of the intelligence that governs all. The mind resists this truth. It wants control. It wants to micromanage every step, fearing that if it does not take charge, nothing will happen. But this fear is an illusion. Your conscious mind does not need to dictate every detail. Your higher awareness, the unseen creative force within you, knows exactly how to bring about the perfect outcome. When you let go, you make space for miracles. You allow the unseen to work in ways that you could never orchestrate on your own. Think of moments in your life when things seem to fall into place effortlessly. Perhaps an opportunity arrived at just the right time. Perhaps a long-lost friend appeared when you needed them most. Perhaps a solution to a problem presented itself the moment you stopped obsessing over it. These are glimpses of the power of surrender, proof that when you remove resistance, life moves in your favor. Letting go is an act of faith. It requires you to step back and allow the process to unfold without interference. It is the art of knowing that your desire is already yours, even if you cannot yet see it. It is the ability to move forward with ease, unshaken by appearances, because you trust the unseen forces at work. When you truly release your desire into the hands of the infinite intelligence, you no longer feel the need to question, worry, or force outcome. You simply rest in the assurance that all is working out as it should. So let go, let it be. Release the need to control and watch as life moves effortlessly in your favor. Just as the seed grows without your interference, so too will your desires manifest when you allow them the space to bloom. Trust in the unseen, surrender to the process, and you will come to see that what is meant for you can never be withheld. When you relax, trust, and allow the universe to work for you, you align yourself with the effortless flow of creation. Your imagination shapes reality, faith attracts what you seek, and living in the end allows your desires to materialize. Time is merely a tool that rearranges itself to bring you what is already yours. Silence holds immense power, guiding unseen forces to work in your favor. And above all, letting go is the final step, the surrender that allows your desires to manifest without resistance. The universe operates with precision, responding to the assumptions and beliefs you hold within. There is no need to force, beg, or struggle. Your only task is to trust, embody the feeling of already having, and let life unfold as it should. When you truly understand this, you step into a reality where miracles are natural, where desires manifest with ease, and where you no longer chase because you know it is already done. Thank you for allowing these words to remind you of your power. Trust the process, remain still in your knowing, and watch as the universe delivers all that is meant for you. Here, reality bends to your assumption, and money is no longer your master. It is your reflection. The secret to wealth has never been out there. It has always been within your own self-concept. The world bows to the man who knows who he is. So I ask you, who are you being right now? If you say, I want to be rich, you are speaking from lack. You are announcing that you are not yet that man. But if you say, I am rich, and you feel it is true, then the law begins to move. The unseen forces start aligning. You see, it is not about wishing, it is about assuming. Assumption is the key to creation. You do not become rich by fighting poverty. You become rich by assuming the state of wealth. Even while appearances scream the opposite. Speak to yourself as the millionaire would. Walk as he would walk. Think from his mountain, not from the valley of how. Live in the end. Feel the weight of the pen as you sign that 7-figure deal. Smell the leather in your dream car. Taste the victory. And do not hope for it. Know it. Because when you live in the end, you collapse time. Money does not come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who remembers. The one who wakes up every morning and looks at his empty bank account and still feels like a king. This world is not real in the way you think. It's a shadow, a mirror. It reflects your dominant state. So change your inner conversation. Stop telling stories of struggle. Stop identifying with lack. And instead, repeat this silently. I am already wealthy. I am already chosen. I am already free. Let the world take its time. You don't need its permission. For when you align your imagination with faith, when you believe without proof, when you persist in the assumption of wealth, life has no choice but to yield. Because the formula has never been effort. The formula has never been luck. The formula is you. So wake up today, not as a beggar, not as a dreamer, but as the one who knows he is already the millionaire. To manifest wealth, you must understand that it is not something you chase, it is something you become. This is the cornerstone of all transformation. The great truth that many overlook is this: reality responds not to your actions alone, but to your state of being. Wealth does not flow to the one who works the hardest, but to the one who embodies the truth that he is already wealthy You must assume the identity of the wealthy man now in this very moment, regardless of your current circumstances. Look around you. What you see is only the residue of your previous states of consciousness. The lack, the limitations, the struggle, they are not permanent. They are echoes, temporary reflections of an old self-concept that no longer serves you. If you wish to change the mirror, you must first change the man looking into it. Do not wait until the money comes to feel secure. Do not delay your confidence until the bank account matches your desire. This is living backwards. In truth, the only reason money hasn't yet arrived is because you have not accepted the identity of the one to whom money naturally flows. You are still playing the role of the becoming instead of the being. And life, being nothing more than a mirror, continues to reflect back to you your waiting, your hoping, your trying. But imagine for a moment that it was already yours. Imagine that the version of you who lives in luxury, who speaks with ease, who gives without counting. Imagine that he is not separate from you. He is you. Not in the future, not when things change, but now. Close your eyes and see him. How does he walk? How does he carry himself? There's no rush in his step, no desperation in his voice. He knows. He trusts. He radiates a calm certainty that money bends to his will, not because he begs for it, but because he knows who he is. And who he is wealthy. This identity is not something earned. It is claimed, chosen, embodied. And when you begin to think from that identity, not of it, not about it, but from it, you step into the creative seat of your life. The outer world, being only an obedient servant of your inner state, begins to mold itself to match the self you have assumed. Do not ask how it will come. That is not your concern. The man who already has it doesn't wonder. He simply moves through life with the assumption that what he needs is already on the way. He trusts that his inner knowing is enough. And it is. When you walk into a room, walk as the one who owns the room, not with arrogance, but with a quiet power. When you speak, let your words come from the belief that you're supported, resourced, and guided. Let your actions spring from the confidence that everything you need is already within. You are not pretending. You are remembering. Remembering who you truly are before the world taught you to doubt it. Before you believed in the false gospel of lack and limitation. You are not becoming rich. You are awakening to the richness that has always been yours by divine right. Assume the identity. Not in theory, not someday, but now. Feel it. Wear it, sleep in it, speak from it, and persist in it, even when nothing seems to change, especially when nothing seems to change. Because in those silent, still moments, the foundation of your new life is being laid. That is the secret, the hidden code, the millionaire manifestation formula. Begins the moment you no longer see wealth as something outside of you, but as something that you already are. And once you claim it, the world will rise up to prove you right. To live in the end is to accept the desire not as a hope or a possibility, but as a fact. It is to move beyond the realm of wishing and into the realm of knowing. There is a profound difference between thinking of your desire and thinking from it. Thinking of it keeps it distant. It creates a gap between you and the thing you long for. But to think from it is to dwell in the state of its fulfillment, to embody the feeling that it is already yours. Your desire exists only in its fulfilled form. That is where it lives. That is where it breathes. To manifest it into your visible world, you must go there first in consciousness. You must visit that version of yourself who is already living the life you are reaching for, and you must stay there, not as a visitor, but as a resident. When you live in the end, you refuse to be swayed by appearances. You no longer consult the outer world for evidence. You stop checking the bank account, the calendar, the phone, because you know that what is real is not what you can currently touch, but what you have accepted in imagination. You see, the imagination is the womb of reality. All things are born there first. The outer world is simply the after effect. It is the mirror, the echo, the reflection of the inner man. And the inner man becomes the outer man when you persist in your assumption. Ask yourself, if it were already done, how would I feel? That is the secret question. That is the sacred doorway into the end. If you had the job, the relationship, the wealth, the health, how would your breath change? How would your posture shift? What conversations would you no longer entertain? What anxiety would dissolve into calm? To live in the end is to answer those questions not with theory, but with practice. It is to adjust your inner state as if the wish had already been fulfilled. When you speak, speak as one who has arrived. When you move, move as one who has no doubt. When you imagine, do not see yourself getting what you want, see from the place of already having it. This may feel unnatural at first. The senses will protest. They will remind you of what is missing. But the senses are not the authority. Your inner conviction is. The moment you choose to believe in the unseen over the seen, you step into your power. You step into alignment with the true creative force within you. The world will tell you to be realistic. But reality is not fixed. It is fluid, and it responds to the dominant assumption. Every great shift begins in someone who dared to ignore the facts and live from the end. Hold a scene in your mind, the one that would naturally unfold after your desire has been fulfilled. Maybe it's a phone call, a thank you note, a peaceful sigh, a look in the mirror. Whatever it is, feel it as real, rehearse it in your mind. Let the tones of reality soak into your being. Let the feeling become familiar, and then live from that place. Let your decisions reflect the end. Let your self-talk reflect the end. Let your energy reflect the end. Do not wait for proof. The proof will come after the assumption, not before. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Silence, the outer noise. The world around you is not the cause, it is the effect. Every fact, every circumstance, every so-called obstacle is merely the shadow cast by your inner state. If you try to change the shadow without changing the light within, you labor in vain. True transformation begins in silence, in stillness, in the quiet command of your own consciousness. The world screams for your attention. It tells you what is possible, what is practical, what is likely. But it knows nothing of the truth you carry within. The moment you allow the noise to dictate your inner dialogue, you surrender your creative power. You become a servant to appearances instead of the master of reality. Ignore the facts, deny the evidence, not in rebellion but in understanding. You're not being reckless, you're being faithful. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It sees beyond the temporary, beyond the current, beyond what is. It sees what must be because it has been decreed in the unseen. You are not called to react. You are called to command. What are you assuming? What are you entertaining when no one is watching? These silent inner conversations are shaping everything. They are either building your future or repeating your past. You must take authority over them, not with force, but with intention. When fear arises, do not argue with it. Replace it. When doubt whispers, do not debate it. Drown it out with the voice of assurance. This is how you silence the noise. Not by wrestling with it, but by turning inward and choosing a different vibration. Your imagination is your sanctuary. Go there often. Dwell there deeply. The world cannot reach you in the stillness of your inner vision, and it is from this sacred space that the new world is born. Suppose they say it's impossible. Suppose the numbers don't add up. Suppose the door seems closed. And yet you have seen it open. You have felt it unfold. You have already experienced it in the realm where all things are created. That knowing is your authority. That feeling is your truth. Let others be ruled by facts. You will be ruled by faith. Let others look outward. You will look within. While they wait for signs, you will be the sign. While they hope for change, you will embody it. And in time, the facts will change. They must. Because the outer world has no choice but to mirror the inner world. If you command peace within, chaos will subside around you. If you dwell in abundance within, supply will find its way to you. If you rest in love within, your relationships will transform. Not because you fought for it, but because you refused to be moved by noise. And that is the key. Stillness. Steady, deliberate stillness. Not passivity, but power. Not inaction, but inner action. You rise in authority the moment you stop seeking validation from the outer world and start governing your inner one. So, silence the noise. When the world says you can't, hear within you, it is done. When it says, look at the facts, say quietly, I look at the truth. And when it screams for your attention, smile and return to your vision. Because in the end, the world will catch up to what you knew all along. And it will do so not because you fought it, but because you ignored it. Until it had no choice but to obey your silence. Emotion is the magnet. It is not the doing, the striving, the constant reaching that brings wealth into your life. It is the feeling, the state of being, the inner atmosphere you carry, moment by moment. Wealth is not earned by effort alone. It is summoned, drawn in, attracted by the emotional climate you maintain. What you feel, you invite. What you persist in feeling, you become. And what you become internally must reflect itself outwardly. This is a law, not a moral one, but a creative one. Your emotional state is the signal you send to the universe, and it never fails to respond. You can work tirelessly, check all the boxes, chase every opportunity, but if you are carrying fear, doubt, anxiety, or lack within you, you will only multiply those states in your outer world. Not because you are being punished, but because life reflects. That's all it knows how to do. To manifest wealth, you must go beyond the surface, beyond appearances. You must sink into the rich, fertile ground of emotion. Begin not with strategy, but with the question, how would I feel if I were already wealthy? Would you wake up with peace in your chest? Would you walk slower, speak with more confidence, breathe more deeply? Would you laugh more easily, give more freely, expect the best in every moment? That is the feeling you must begin to cultivate now, not when the money arrives, but because you understand it already has, right? Joy is magnetic. Gratitude is magnetic. Certainty is magnetic. These are not just nice ideas, they are tools, instruments of creation. When you live in the vibration of these feelings, you align with the frequency of wealth itself. You tune your inner being to the station where prosperity broadcasts. And the beautiful truth is, you do not need a single change in your external world to feel this way. You can close your eyes, enter the sacred temple of your imagination, and become rich in feeling. You can walk through the corridors of a life you love before the world sees it. And the more real it feels, the faster it appears. You do not need to pretend. You need to assume. There is a vast difference. Pretending implies separation. You act as if it's true. Assuming makes it so. You know it is already yours. And that knowing creates emotion. And that emotion becomes form. So begin now. Feel the weight of abundance in your hands. Smile as if the news you long for has just arrived. Breathe as if every bill is paid, every need is met, every dream is unfolding in perfect time. Let the emotion rise naturally. Let it take over your being. Make it your practice. Not once but daily, not when convenient, but consistently. Sit with the feeling of financial freedom. Linger in the joy of having more than enough. Let it become familiar, so familiar that it becomes your new normal. Because when that happens, when the joy is no longer tied to the outer result but flows from within, you become unstoppable. You are no longer chasing wealth, you are radiating it. You are no longer asking for it. You are living in it. The world may not respond instantly, that is fine. Do not measure your progress by how fast things appear. Measure it by how deeply you feel. Stay in the state. The state is the cause. The emotion is the invitation. And wealth will answer, not because you worked harder than everyone else, but because you felt it first. You believed first. You rejoiced first. You embodied the vibration of abundance before it had a name or a number. And now it must come. Emotion is the magnet. Feel rich, and you will be. What are you whispering to yourself all day? Not what you say aloud, not what you tell others, but the quiet voice, the hidden stream of thought that flows beneath every action and decision. That voice creates worlds. It is not neutral. It is not idle. It is the architect of your reality. You may think your outer conditions are shaped by effort, by action, by chance. But long before you ever move your hand, you have moved your mind. And the movement of your mind, your inner conversation, is the true creator. It is this internal dialogue that sets the tone for your life. If your whispers are laced with lack, I can't afford that, money doesn't come easily to me, I'm not where I should be, then you are rehearsing poverty. You are not merely expressing a belief. You are reinforcing it, energizing it, giving it breath and form. And what you repeat, you make real. But this law works both ways. just as a constant inner dialogue of lack produces more of the same. A persistent conversation of abundance must yield wealth, not as a reward, but as a reflection. Not as something earned, but something mirrored. You must become aware of your inner language. You must watch it as you would a garden, pulling weeds the moment they appear. When you catch yourself speaking limitation, do not condemn yourself, correct yourself. Interrupt the old script. Replace it with truth. Speak abundance. Speak prosperity. Speak as if money loves you, as if success follows you, as if the universe is conspiring to bless you at every turn, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. Not to convince the world, but to convince yourself. Because the world listens to you through your state. It does not respond to begging. It does not respond to desperation. It responds to the certainty of your inner being. And certainty is built through repetition. Through the gentle, unbroken rhythm of a prosperous internal conversation. Talk to yourself the way a wealthy person would. What would they say when bills arrive, when opportunities arrive, when facing a challenge? They would say, I always find a way. Resources flow to me easily. Every situation turns in my favor. That voice must become yours. Let your self-talk be rich in tone, not just in words. Feel the truth of what you say. Don't just recite affirmations. Inhabit them. Let your inner dialogue be laced with conviction, with ease, with joy, and persist. Not for a moment, not just when you feel good, but especially when you don't. Every word you repeat to yourself takes root. Every assumption you accept becomes a law in your world. And with persistence, even the most deeply embedded belief can be rewritten. This is not fantasy. It is mastery. The mind is not your enemy. It is your tool. Use it, train it, guide it gently into new terrain. Say to yourself, I am wealthy now. Money is my friend. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Let it become second nature. Let it become your default tone. And when the inner voice wants to return to the old, stop. The conversation within you is not private. The universe hears it, and it obeys it. So whisper well. Speak the truth of who you want to be, and persist until the whisper becomes your world. The world around you is nothing but a shadow, an echo of your inner vision. It bends, molds, and reshapes itself according to the images you hold faithfully in your imagination. There is no greater power than the one you wield in silence, behind closed eyes, where the seen is born. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of your mind. It is clay, soft, pliable, formless, until you give it shape in imagination. Every object, every circumstance, every relationship began as an idea in someone's mind. And so it is with you. Nothing will appear in your life unless it is first permitted, accepted, and nurtured within you. The soul rests in faithful imagination, not in scattered wishes, not in restless hoping, but in clear, unwavering, confident seeing. See what you desire with vivid detail. Enter that scene as if it were already unfolding. Touch the walls of your new home in your mind. Hear the voice of someone congratulating you. Smell the leather of your new car. Taste the joy of freedom. You are not pretending. You are selecting. And once you have selected, rest in it. Do not dig up the seed with doubt. Do not question how or when or through whom it will come. The mechanism is not your concern. Imagination takes care of the details. Your only duty is to remain faithful to the end you have chosen. Faithful imagination is not occasional fantasy. It is devotion. It is the quiet conviction that what you see within is more real than what you see without. It is the ability to stay rooted in your vision while the world still looks unchanged. Because the moment you alter your inner state, you alter the world that must come. There is no effort in this rest. There is no strain in this work. True imagination is restful, not restless. You are not forcing outcomes. You are allowing them. You are becoming a channel through which your chosen vision flows into form. And the clearer you see it within, the quicker it hardens into fact. Do not wait for evidence to believe. Create the evidence through belief. The world is slow to respond to the one who doubts, but quick to obey the one who sees clearly. What you imagine with feeling and sustain with trust must appear. That is the law. You do not need the permission of the world to create your reality. You only need to grant yourself the authority to imagine boldly. Stop seeking signs outside yourself. The sign is your own vision. If you have seen it in the mind, it already exists. It is done. Rest there. Return often. Whenever the noise of the world attempts to sway you, go back within. Close your eyes. Re-enter your chosen scene. Let it become so natural that you begin to forget what the old reality looked like. Lose interest in the facts that deny your vision, and invest all your emotion in the world you are building inside. This is not denial, it is creation. You are not escaping life, you are commanding it. And the one who commands reality is the one who has learned to live from the unseen rather than the seen. So let imagination be your sanctuary. Let it be the womb of your future. Guard it, protect it, revisit it until your entire being is saturated with the feeling that what you desire is already yours. And then watch. Not with anxiety, but with quiet knowing. The world will shape itself around your inner image. The scene you repeated in silence will rise up in front of your eyes. Not because you struggled, but because you believed. The world is play in the hands of your imagination. Shape it wisely and rest, not in worry, but in the certainty that what you have imagined in truth must become your life. Everything begins and ends in the mind. The formula is not out there. It has always been within you. You do not become a millionaire by chasing money, but by embodying the wealth within. You assume the identity, live in the end, silence the noise, ignite the right emotions, persist in inner truth, and rest faithfully in your imagined reality. This is not magic, it is law. The world does not respond to effort alone, it yields to consciousness. You are the cause. The inner man, unseen by the world, shapes every circumstance, every dollar, every door that opens. You do not wait for wealth to feel rich. You feel rich. And wealth obeys. Let no outer fact discourage you. Let no voice of doubt linger longer than a breath. Hold the vision. Trust the unseen. Speak the language of abundance and make it your native tongue. This is your invitation to stop striving and start selecting, to stop begging and begin believing. Life will match the tone of your inner world. Set it high, set it boldly. Set it now. Thank you for receiving these words, not with your ears, but with your spirit. May you walk from this moment not as one seeking, but as one who knows. The formula is within, and your wealth has already begun. If you have come across these words, it is not by chance. Something far greater is at play. Your highest self, the divine intelligence that breathes life into all things, has drawn you to this moment. And it is here to remind you of something you already know deep within. You are meant for abundance. Look not at your bank account. Look not at your current job, your debts, your surroundings. Those are shadows. The truth lies in your imagination. What you dare to claim in your mind and feel in your body must become your world. It is law. When you imagine wealth, do not beg for it, do not plead for it. You command it as one who already possesses it. You feel the texture of it, the freedom, the joy, the ease. You wear it like skin. Speak as a wealthy person. Move as one. Think as one. You're not preparing, you're living it already. Your only task is to persist in the state of the wish fulfilled, to return again and again to the scene in your mind where it is already true. And each time you do, you impress your inner world, and the outer must yield. Doubt may knock, delay may come, but delay is not denial, it is refinement. You are being shaped for the greatness you asked for. Stay faithful to the unseen. The world you see now is crumbling to make room for the one you are creating. So if you are seeing this, it's a sign, a confirmation, a whisper from the infinite saying, it is already yours. And the only thing left for you to do is to believe it so deeply, the world cannot help but reflect it. You are becoming who you've always been. You are not waiting for wealth. You are revealing it. You are the millionaire. You were led here by divine ardor. Nothing is coincidence. If your eyes have found their way to these words, if this message has reached you at this precise moment, then it is not by accident. There is a force greater than mere chance at work in your life. You are being guided by an unseen hand, and the universe has conspired to bring you to this very place at this very time. Your soul is prepared to receive something far more profound than you may yet fully understand. Many people go through life believing that their experiences are random, that the events that unfold before them are simply the result of circumstance, or worse, luck. But that is not the truth. The truth is that you are a co-creator with the divine. Everything that comes into your life, whether it seems small or monumental, has been drawn to you because your consciousness has called it forth. You are not passive in this world. You are actively shaping your experience. The key to understanding this is in realizing the power of your consciousness. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are not just fleeting ideas. They are the very fabric of your reality. The world you see around you is a reflection of your inner state. And right now, you are in the process of awakening to this truth. This moment of clarity, this seemingly serendipitous encounter with these words, is not a random event. It is the opening of a door that you have been walking toward, consciously or unconsciously, your entire life. What you are receiving right now is a message that you are ready. Ready to move into a new dimension of awareness. Ready to step into a life that is more abundant, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your deepest desires. This is not the beginning of something new. It is the continuation of a journey that has been unfolding for you long before you became consciously aware of it. You've been on this path, whether you knew it or not, because your soul has been nudging you forward, preparing you for this moment of understanding. As you read these words, understand that you have already summoned them into being. Your thoughts, your desires, and your intentions have led to this exact moment, this intersection of time and space. You might feel as though you've been waiting for a sign, a breakthrough, or a sudden shift in your life. But the truth is that the moment you've been waiting for is already here. You've already set the wheels in motion. Your soul has been alive this moment, long before your mind understood it. It is time for you to fully accept that you are not merely existing in this world. You are creating it. You are the architect of your life. Everything you experience is a product of your consciousness. And now, with the realization that you are being led here for a reason, you can choose to embrace the life you've always dreamed of. Nothing that happens to you is random. Every person, every experience, every challenge, and every triumph has been carefully woven into the tapestry of your existence. You are exactly where you need to be. And everything that has come before this moment has prepared you for the next phase of your journey. As you stand at the threshold of greater awareness, realize that you have the power to shape what comes next. The universe has brought you here not to simply witness the possibilities, but to realize that you are the one who makes them possible. What you have envisioned, what you have desired, is already waiting for you to step into it. Your consciousness has summoned this moment, and in doing so, you have unlocked the door to a new reality. The only thing left is for you to fully embrace this truth, that nothing is by coincidence, that everything has led you here, and that you are now ready to receive all that is rightfully yours. Trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and know that the power to shape your future is already within you. This is not a coincidence. This is divine order, and you are now ready to receive. Your imagination is the true architect of your wealth. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you embody. To understand this, you must first realize that the power to create the life you desire lies within you, within the depths of your imagination. The world you see around you is simply a reflection of what you have previously imagined and believed. If you can shift your perception, your thoughts, and your inner vision, you can completely transform your reality. You see, wealth is not just a matter of accumulating money or possessions. Wealth in its truest sense is a state of being. It is a state of mind, of consciousness, that permeates every part of your life. It is an internal condition that, when fully realized, will manifest in your outer world. The key to unlocking this abundant life is to stop seeing wealth as something external that you must work tirelessly to attain. Instead, you must recognize that wealth is already present within you, and it is your job to align yourself with it, to let it flow freely into your life. Picture the life you desire. Close your eyes and envision it in as much detail as possible. Imagine yourself living in abundance, with the freedom to do what you love, the ability to help others, and the joy of experiencing the world without limitation. What does that life look like for you? What does it feel like? Let that vision fill you completely. As you do, notice the shift in your energy. You begin to feel the emotions of having that life already, the excitement, the peace, the security, the joy. You are no longer hoping for it to come, you are embodying it in the present moment. This is the power of imagination. It is not just about daydreaming or wishing for something to happen in the future. It is about seeing your desires as already fulfilled, right here and right now. When you can do this, when you can hold the vision of the life you desire with unwavering faith, you begin to align yourself with the very energy that will bring it into being. The universe does not respond to your desperate longing or your constant striving. It responds to the energy you emit. When you believe that your desires are already yours, you radiate the frequency of abundance, and that is when the doors of opportunity open. Think about it. The most successful people in any field, whether it's in business, sports, or the arts, are those who believe they can achieve their dreams before they even begin. They don't chase after success, they embody it. They move, speak, and act as though they are already the person they wish to become. And that belief, that unwavering faith in their vision, is what attracts everything they need to make their dreams a reality. You must understand that your imagination is not merely a tool for creating daydreams. It is the mechanism by which your reality is formed. Every thought you think, every image you hold in your mind, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. And just like any seed, it will eventually grow and bear fruit, the fruit of your thoughts and beliefs. It's important to realize that this feeling is not a one-time exercise. It is not something you do only when you're thinking about your desires. It must become a permanent state of being. You must carry the feeling of already having what you desire with you at all times. This is not about waiting for external circumstances to change. It's about changing your internal world. When you feel like a millionaire, you begin to attract the people, places, and opportunities that reflect that energy. Fear, give this thing that makes you, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you embody the feeling of wealth, the more it will manifest in your life. You have the power to change your reality by simply changing how you feel. Feel it now as though it's already true. Feel the exhilaration of living the life you've always dreamed of. Feel the gratitude, the peace, the excitement. Let that feeling dominate your inner world and watch as your outer world begins to shift to match it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is your magnetic field. When you live from this feeling, you are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are living as if it has already happened. And in doing so, you become a magnet for all that you desire. Your present circumstances do not define your future reality. The conditions you see around you today, no matter how challenging or limited they may seem, do not have the power to dictate what your future holds. It may feel as though your current situation is a direct reflection of your potential, but in truth it is simply a snapshot of the past, a reflection of what you've thought, felt, and believed up until now. The future is not set by your past, nor is it set by your current circumstances. It is created by the inner world you cultivate today. The outer world, the one you interact with every day, is merely a mirror. It reflects the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you hold within yourself. It is like a canvas that responds to the brushstrokes of your inner reality. If your inner world is filled with fear, doubt, and uncertainty, your outer world will reflect these energies back to you in the form of struggles, lack, and hardship. However, if your inner world is aligned with the feelings of abundance, success, and peace, then your outer world must reflect that as well. Your reality will shift to mirror the new thoughts and beliefs you hold inside. The most powerful realization you can have is this: the world you experience is not a fixed, rigid structure. It is fluid, ever-changing, and malleable. What you experience today can be completely transformed by changing how you think and feel. The outer world is only a reflection of the inner world, and the good news is that you have the power to change the inner world at any moment. When you decide to shift your internal state, your mindset, your beliefs, your emotions, the outer world must comply. The universe responds to the energy you emit, and this energy is directly influenced by your inner world. It all starts with a shift in perception. When you change the way you see yourself and the world around you, everything begins to change. If you see yourself as successful, deserving, and abundant, then your life will begin to reflect that. You will start to notice opportunities where there once were obstacles. People will show up in your life who support your vision and help you along your journey. Circumstances that once seemed limiting will dissolve, replaced by new empowering situations that allow you to thrive. Your future is not locked into place by your past or your present, but by the thoughts and beliefs you hold about what is possible for you. If you want wealth, begin by seeing yourself as wealthy. See it, feel it, believe it, with every fiber of your being. Let your imagination run wild with the possibilities of what you can create. Don't hold back or limit yourself. Dream big. Visualize yourself in the life you desire and trust that this vision is not a fantasy but a reality waiting to unfold. The more you dwell in this mental state of abundance, the more your external reality will begin to align with it. Wealth is not something you have to fight for or struggle to attain. It is something you are meant to step into. Your imagination holds the blueprint, and it is up to you to bring it to life. So let go of the idea that you are chasing wealth. Instead, understand that you are already wealthy in your mind, and as you continue to hold that vision with unwavering faith, it will manifest in your life in ways you could never have imagined. The secret is simple. Embody the wealth you desire. Live in the state of abundance, and the universe will respond in kind. You are the creator of your reality. The power is already within you. All that is left is for you to claim it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is your magnetic field. When you feel the emotions of your desires already realized, you are aligning with the very essence of those desires. This feeling becomes the energy that attracts everything necessary to bring your dreams into reality. It is not enough to simply wish for something or think about it from a place of lack. To truly manifest your desires, you must first embody the feeling of having already achieved them. The feeling is the key. It is what activates the law of attraction and begins to draw everything you need into your life. Take a moment to close your eyes and imagine what it would be like to already be a millionaire. What does that life look like for you? What does it feel like to have financial freedom, to be able to live without constraints, and to have the resources to create the life you desire? Picture it in detail. The freedom to travel, the ability to help others, the comfort of knowing that you are financially secure. See yourself in the world of abundance that you long for. And most importantly, feel it. Feel the weightlessness that comes with knowing you have everything you need. Feel the joy, the excitement, the sense of pride that flows through your body. Imagine the peace of mind you would have, knowing that money is no longer a source of stress or worry. Feel the pride in your accomplishments, the sense of gratitude for all that you've achieved. Let those emotions fill your heart. Let them wash over you like a wave of warmth and light. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not about the material wealth itself. It is about the emotional state that comes with it. When you allow yourself to truly feel what it's like to already be a millionaire, you are creating a powerful energy field around you. This energy is magnetic. It draws opportunities, people, and circumstances that resonate with your vibration. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you feel. And when you embody the feeling of already having it all, you become a magnet for everything that aligns with that feeling. This is the secret that many successful individuals understand. They do not chase after wealth, they align with the feeling of wealth. They act as though their desires are already theirs, and in doing so, they attract everything they need to make those desires a reality. The feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes a signal to the universe, telling it that you are ready to receive. And when you are ready to receive, the universe begins to conspire in your favor. This is where the magic happens. In the space between thought and manifestation, you are constantly creating your future through your inner dialogue. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, is shaping the reality that is unfolding. This means that the moment you decide to change your beliefs about who you are and what you are capable of, the world around you begins to shift. When you let go of limiting beliefs and embrace new, empowering ones, you are essentially rewriting the script of your life. Think about it. How many times have you let your current circumstances dictate your feelings of possibility? Perhaps you've looked at your bank account, your job, your relationships, and believed that they were the ultimate measure of your potential. But the truth is, those are just temporary reflections. They are not set in stone, and they do not have the power to define your future. Your power lies in your ability to rise above your circumstances, to hold a vision of something greater, and to consistently align your thoughts and emotions with that vision. You are not bound by the limitations of today. You are not trapped by the world you see around you. Your future is being created right now through the choices you make in your inner world. When you shift your mindset, your beliefs, and your feelings, you open the door to a new reality. A reality where your dreams are no longer out of reach, but right within your grasp. The outer world must comply with the inner world. Your circumstances are simply a reflection of what you have believed to be true. Shift your beliefs, shift your inner world, and watch as the external world shifts with you. The life you desire is already waiting for you. All you need to do is align yourself with it on the inside, and the universe will take care of the rest. Speak and think only from the state of already having it. This is not merely a suggestion or a nice idea. It is the secret to creating a life that aligns with your deepest desires. To create anything you want in life, you must first believe and act as though you already have it. Your words, your thoughts, your energy must all come from the place of certainty, from the place of already having. When you do this, the universe must respond accordingly. The law of attraction does not respond to what you hope for or wish for. It responds to the energy you emit. And when you speak and think from the state of already having, you send out a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you hope for something, you are acknowledging a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Hope implies that your desires are outside of you, that you are waiting for them to come to you from an external source. Hope is a passive energy, one that is rooted in lack. But to manifest anything, wealth, success, love, or anything else, you must move from the state of wishing and hoping into the state of knowing and having. This is where true power lies. The moment you shift your mindset to embody the feeling of already having it, your world begins to change. Imagine standing on the mountain top, looking down over the life you've created. When you speak from that high place, from a place of fulfillment and certainty, your words have a different power. They are grounded in confidence, not in desire. There is no longing in your speech, only the declaration of truth. You are speaking from a place of strength, abundance, and certainty. Your thoughts and words flow from the knowing that everything you desire is already yours. And because of that, the universe must mirror that energy back to you. On the other hand, speaking from the valley, from a place of longing and desire, only reinforces the sense that you do not yet have what you want. This energy of lack keeps you in a constant state of waiting, as if you are always chasing something that is just out of reach. When you speak from the valley, you inadvertently tell the universe that you are not yet ready to receive, that you are still in need. But when you speak from the mountaintop, you declare with confidence that you are not only ready, but that you have already received. You are in alignment with your desires, and the universe will respond in kind. This is the power of speaking and thinking from the state of already having. Your words and thoughts must carry the vibration of fulfillment. The more you practice this, the more natural it will become. When you speak from the mountaintop, you not only change your internal state, but you change how others perceive you. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and certainty. Eh? They can feel the energy of someone who is aligned with their desires, someone who is already living the life they want. And this energy is magnetic. Opportunities, connections, and situations will begin to appear as if by magic, because you are vibrating at the frequency of your desires. The key to manifesting is to stop waiting for the world to change first. Change within yourself first, and the outer world must follow. Speak as though you already have everything you desire. Feel the emotions of already having it, and watch as your life begins to transform before your very eyes. The universe is always listening. It is responding to your thoughts, your words, your feelings. So speak and think only from the state of already having it, and you will begin to live the life you have always dreamed of. Persistence in assumption births the miracle. The power to create your reality lies in your ability to hold a consistent belief, an unwavering assumption that what you desire is already true. This is not a fleeting thought or a casual wish. It is the deep-rooted knowing that the future you desire is already established in the invisible realm, ready to manifest into your world. The unseen is more real than the seen, because the physical world is simply a reflection of what you believe to be true on the inside. The unseen, the world of thought, imagination, and assumption, holds the key to the creation of everything in your life.